Hi everyone, I'm Zach from Porsche Center Calgary. Today we're going to be talking about one of our new Taycan Turbo S Cross Turismo that have come in. This is the new 2025 version, so the updated Taycan or the second generation one. And lots of talked about this vehicle. This is a very cool example that we've had come in. So the Cross Turismo is essentially the wagon body style that you guys may be familiar with. And then Turbo S model, meaning this is the, top of the line performer for the Taycan without getting into the GT version, which is much more of a track spec. This is one where you've got, a ridiculous amount of straight line power and performance, but yet it still maintains a more comfortable kind of applicable feel for day-to-day driving. Talking about, certain specs on the vehicle and some core information before diving into the individual options on this car is, first of all, with the Turbo S, you get a ton of standard on the vehicle. So starting with some performance stuff, you're going to have rear axle steering as standard on the vehicle. Lower speeds, your wheels are going to be pointing in opposite directions. It's essentially shortening your wheelbase. Fantastic for tighter turns, or even, let's just say, parking lot maneuvers at low speed. Help you wiggle in and out a little bit of a little bit tighter spots there. You're going to have torque vectoring plus as standard on this vehicle as well. So essentially going around corners, your rear brakes are going to be helping to shift some of the load of the car around that corner as well. You're going to have your Sport Chrono with the vehicle, meaning that you will have your Sport Plus mode, the ability to do time trials, all those little bits. You're going to have PCCBs with the car, so those are your ceramic composite brakes. If you've ever seen the big yellow brakes on Porsche, that's what this car has. You get an incredible amount of performance out of those brakes. They're super sensitive and they look really cool as well. So a few pluses to that. And then continuing on from there, Pasmo Sport suspension and air suspension is standard in really any Taycans. So you'll have both the ability to raise and lower the chassis in this vehicle for the height. And then you'll also have a couple buttons where you can stiffen up the suspension to reduce any body roll or fine tune that road feel that you may like. And then finishing off on standard performance options with the electric sport sound for the vehicle. If you're wanting a little bit of sound association with it, you can turn it on the car. And just like when you're accelerating with a combustion engine, the harder you're accelerating, the louder it is. It's kind of tuned to what the car is doing. It's intentionally very different from a combustion engine motor, so they're not trying to mimic that sound. Sounds like something out of Star Wars. It's actually quite cool. I personally quite like it. Like I said, especially if you're just wanting that a little bit of engagement, if you're on a twisty, kind of tighter section of road and you're having a little bit of fun with it. As far as performance on this goes, like I was saying, the Turbo S models, you get a ton of performance on these. So typically when you're driving around, you're going to have 764 horsepower with this vehicle. And the cool thing with the electric cars, specifically these Taycans, is when you go to do a launch control on the vehicle, that pushes out to 938 horsepower, and then it has up to 819 pound-feet of torque. So like I was saying, you get an absolute ton of performance from this car. You're going to be able to have a lot of fun with it. And then coming to talk to a little bit about what this specific vehicle has to offer that that could vary from other Turbo S Cross Turismo variants. So as far as option goes on this one's done up in our chalk colorway, and then it's going to have a black leather interior. On the outside of the vehicle, you're going to have a lot of what we call Turbonite accents on it. So this is something new that Porsche has introduced just within the last year on any of our turbo models, just so there's a little bit more separation and kind of a more distinctive look on them compared to everything else. So Turbonite's what you're going to have for your wheel color and your trim color around the vehicle. Looks absolutely fantastic. You're going to have it for your front badging as well on the car, or I should say the front Porsche crest on your hood there. Looks great. And then going through some of the specific options there, you're going to have 21-inch aero design wheels. That's done up that Turbonite colorway I was just talking about. You're going to have roof rails on the vehicle should you need them. And then going through some of the other options, you're going to have your 18-way seats with this vehicle. Those are the ones that give you slightly more aggressive, larger bolstering on the car if you want to be hugged a little bit tighter. Like I said, especially if you're having some fun in some corners, just holding you there. It's got the 2+1 seating. So you do have the 3 seats in the back, keeping in mind it's +1 seating. That middle one, you probably wouldn't want to have anyone in there for a really, really long drive, but if it's around the city, certainly does the job. This car is going to have a premium package on it. Essentially the premium package with Porsche is bundling all the most popular options together and sticking them in the vehicle. Besides that though, it really is about individual customization. So in that premium package, you're going to have your ventilated seats up front, you're going to have heated seats front and rear on this vehicle anyways. You're going to have heads-up display, surround view cameras. Those are your 360 cameras that show all the way around the vehicle. Porsche InnoDrive, that's going to give you the active lane keeping. That's going to essentially be the lane centering that you get in other manufacturers. Soft closed doors, and then you'll get an air quality system that really acts like an ionizer just to increase the air quality in the vehicle. Besides that, talking about some of the other smaller options on the vehicle, you're going to have painted door handles on the vehicle in high gloss black. So you'll notice that in the pictures that the door handles do stick out, adds another contrast point with the chalk, looks quite nice. You're going to have underdoor puddle lights. And then actually going back to what I was talking about performance on this vehicle, I'd say this is probably one of the best highlights of this car. It's got Porsche's new active ride system in it. So this is newly introduced for this new generation of Taycan here. And then we also see it on our Panamera e-hybrids. You need to have a high voltage battery for it to be able to work. But what the active ride is doing is whenever you're cornering and the system's on, for example, the car is going to slalom like you'd see on a motorcycle, for example. So if you're taking a right-hand corner, rather than the car rolling and leaning to the outside of that corner, so it'd be rolling to the left, it's actually going to dip into the corner and lean into it. So it'd slalom like you see like I said, a motorcycle on the road going through corners would. Very cool. This is actually more of a comfort feature than a performance feature. It's actually more so for any passengers you may have in the car, where it's just going to reduce the amount of G-force on their body when you're going through corners, and even braking and acceleration. For example, when you're accelerating, rather than the rear of the car digging in and the front end lifting, the car is actively going to be trying to counter that. So it's actually going to be dipping that front end a little bit, just so everyone stays in their neutral seating position. And then same thing for braking. Rather than the front end dipping in when you're braking, once again, it's going to resist that, tuck the tail end down, and keep your body position neutral. So like I said, very much so geared towards comfort for passengers specifically, but really everyone in the car. Quite a cool system. And then the last little bit of that too is the comfort entry with it. When you go to actually hop in and out of the car and the opens the door, the vehicle itself will actually raise up by about 3 inches just to make it easier to hop in and out of the car. So really cool technology. I've got to try it myself. They did a really good job with it. It's fantastic. Continuing on some aspects of the interior here. So like I was saying, this one's got a black leather interior, but with a cool few touch points in it. So for one, it's going to have custom decorative stitch done up in chalk. So that's going to match the outside color. And especially on that black interior, you're going to have all this nice chalk stitch that pops, stands out, looks absolutely fantastic. And then yeah, you're going to have some other interior accents that will actually be done up in matching chalk as well to match the exterior. Besides that, you're also going to have chalk seat belts matching as well, Porsche crest on the headrests, and then a chalk sport chrono clock. So that's the clock up on the dash. So all in matching chalk. So this car is super well put together, looks fantastic. I'd highly recommend coming to see this vehicle in person. We have it here at the dealership right now. Should you have any questions on it, we all work together as a team here on the sales team. You're more than welcome to hop on a phone call with us, come see the vehicle in person, and we'd love to answer any questions you have on it. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Have a fantastic day.